All right, good people. Thanks for hanging on to this episode with Michael Franti. A few questions flew in down here in the chat box, Michael. And by the way, I am excited about the impact organizations that are coming to fruition and come to the table. And you're right about that. It's built into the DNA. It's the intention of those leaders that's really what is making a difference. And people, especially young organizations and young leaders, are recognizing that. Now, I'm going to go with the first upvote, probably one from one of your biggest fans. I know personally. Amy Gernrich asks, so glad you are here. What is the most important message you want to communicate with your music? By the way, my email signature, the purpose of life is to live a life full of purpose, by Michael Franti. Once a day, hashtag do it for the love. So question is, what is the most important message you want to communicate with your music?
To be your authentic self. And as you mentioned, the purpose of life is to live a life full of purpose and to find ways to serve that which is greater than yourself. But I believe that you can only do that when you are your authentic self. And that so much of my life has been trying to fit into molds that I just didn't fit into, and not showing up as my authentic self. And when and it's something all of us struggle with every day. But when I do feel like I hit that sweet spot of just being me is when I'm able to speak truth to power. It's when I'm able to share an opinion about something that makes someone go, I never thought about it in that way. Or it's when I'm able to bring a smile to someone's face. Or it's when I'm just able to cry because something really hurts me, and then somebody else goes, it really hurts me too. Imagine that. And then we go, well, now here's this opportunity for us to connect in this way, to find these things that need healing in the world, and it starts with ourselves. So that's my message, is to be your authentic self, and then to be able to see the authenticity in others. And that's what it means to stay human, is to be able to see that I'm this imperfect being living this imperfect life, and I'm trying my best to show up the best ways that I can. And I see you doing the same thing.
Powerful and strong connections too, authentic connections, being yourself, being real, it's sharing those emotional things that are going on in your life. I mean, those are the strongest connections one can make. Folks, also, I'm going to ask this next question from Trisha. If you want to say something in the chat box, let us know. If you want to appear on the screen, I can call you on. We can have one guest today. Michael, he's the former bar bouncer. He loves talking to people after the show. We're going to return the favor here and pay it forward. So if you want to come on the screen, just type a little chat and just let us know if you want to come on. But next question, Michael, is from Trisha, and she asks, I like this one. Michael, what values and beliefs from you and Sarah do you feel strongly about passing on to your children?
One of them is that there's no one that you wouldn't love if you knew their story. There's no one that you wouldn't love if you knew their story. And there are so many people in the world that I see, that people that at first I'm like, I could never be friends with that person.
Right.
And then I sit down and have a conversation with them, and I hear where they're from, and I hear their struggles that they've gone through, and I hear what their family life is like, and I hear the work that their parents did. And then by the end of it, I'm like, man, I love you, man. I'd totally hang out with you. You're like, I get the way that you are, and I see your quirks, and I see how those formed in you, and I get it, and I love it. And especially in the world today where there's so much division out there, we are so quick to put people into labels. And I mean, the most obvious one are like black and white, man, woman, gay, straight, Republican, Democrat, blah, 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 on and on and on. And we pigeonhole people, and then we attach this whole set of values to them. And the thing that I found as a musician is, like, you start playing music and it doesn't matter. All those things go away. And people just start to dance. They high five a stranger. And so I've witnessed it every single night of my life, that people aren't the names that we attach to them. And when we have a chance to really go in and say, what are you afraid of? What is it that turns you on? What is it that moves your heart? What is it that brings you joy in your life? When we hear that in other people, we realize that every single person on this planet is completely unique, and that any label that we attach them, we're setting up these limiting beliefs that we then hurt each other about. We mistreat each other about. All Muslims are bad, all Jews are bad, all Christians are bad. All these things that we attach to them. It's like we end up hurting ourselves by not living that rich life. So that's the thing that I really want my youngest son Tosh to know, and I feel like my two older sons really embody it, maybe even more than I do. They're, my son who's 21, he when he was in high school, he was telling me, like, I said something about, do you guys have like a gay like students union or something on campus? He's like, Dad, we don't even use the word gay anymore. he's like, oh, that woman, that's that woman's girlfriend, or they don't even, like, it's not even a thing to
Right.
have like they didn't even in the school he was at, it wasn't even a thing. And I was so moved by that, and just the way that they're connecting to people's story and who they are more than they are about this identification with a certain gender classification or sexuality or whatever. So yeah.
I love it. It's powerful, and exactly with the whole they don't use the word gay anymore. It's like, who cares? It's like you would love them if you actually knew who they were and knew their story.
Yeah.
It's powerful advice. So, all right, I know you got to fly here. So I'm going to bring on one last fan, and we're going to invite them on the screen and have them ask a question. Hopefully the tech works today, and we'll send you off. And if you want to
What's up, Chris? By the way, I want to say hi to Chris Cub. I want to say hi. Hey,
Chris,
how's it going?
Hello. Oh my goodness. Wow, I'm so excited to speak with you, and I want to just tell you, like, I truly admire the work that you do. And Real Leaders is really big on impact, and I can attest to the impact of your music in my own life.
Thanks.
Yeah, totally. And the question that I have for you is, what's your advice for those out there that have big dreams and also want to make an impact?
Start small, think big. Start small, think big. Just really dream. One of the things that I did before I started Soulshine Hotel was I sat down and I made a 5-year plan. And it was like, my friend challenged me. He's like, if you could have everything that you ever wanted to achieve in 5 years, what would it be? And he said, he put it to me like this. He said, if I gave you $10 million and you could do anything you wanted with it, and there was no strings attached, and you knew it couldn't fail, what would you do? And so that was the framework of, like, saying, oh, well, I want to do this with my music career. I want to do this with my activism. I want to start this nonprofit. I want to open a hotel that's dedicated to wellness. And I wanted to write a book, and I wanted to make a movie, and all these things that I wrote down, they all were put into categories A, B, and C. And it wasn't which are the most important, it's which is the most imminent. For example, if I wanted to be like more successful at music, I had to practice my guitar more. So that guitar practice went to the A category, and so on and so forth. And then from that, I was able to start to look at, well, if these things are most imminent, if like practicing guitar is more imminent than becoming a yoga teacher, which is kind of one of the things I do, but was further down the line for me, then I could do those things. So it was like breaking it down into small pieces that I could bite off and that I could handle, and then creating partnerships with other people that could help me to get to where I wanted to go, and collaborating with people. And so that's what I mean by start small, think big. It's like create your dream and write out like, here's all like the most wild thing that I want to achieve. You don't have to go like sharing it on social media, or you just have it for yourself and you have it to refer to, but it's important to write it down and then break it down into little bites that you can achieve. And so for us, like building a hotel, it's like, I'm not going to build like a multi-million-dollar hotel, but I could build 5 rooms. And so we did. And eventually we built it up. Now we have 32 rooms and we have 2 restaurants here and, multiple yoga rooms. And so it was like, we had a vision for it for the future, but we started with something that we could bite off. And then we partnered with people that were really cool that could help to get it to where it was or where it is now. So that's it. Start small, think big.
That's awesome. I love that so much. And I'm so excited to catch you at your next tour whenever that happens.
I can't wait. It's one of the things that we miss more than anything else. We'll be doing our next online live stream on the Saturday night before Valentine's Day. So that's the February 13th. So come join us on the live stream and rock out.
Awesome. Yes. I'll definitely keep up with everything you're doing and just keep up all your great. Thanks, you.
Madeline.
You.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Malin. I'm going to close you out here real quick. All right, everyone. Michael, appreciate you coming on the Real Leaders podcast, my friend. Everything that you do, wise words all around today. Folks, if you want to listen to this episode again, hit that link in that chat box. It's just the Real Leaders podcast. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and this episode will be released, folks, on Sunday. You can find it there on Sunday. Michael, any last words about where people can find more information about you or Time Bali?
MichaelFranti.com or go to soulshinebali.com. And we're doing a Real Leaders Conference here next March. So it's going to be an awesome event, bringing real leaders from around the world here to be inspired, to be together, and to hit the reset button on life, but also just engage with one another and find new ways that they can serve the planet through their entrepreneurship.
Love it. Well, when our founders come out there to visit you, I'm going to ask them if Michael has visited Mount Batur yet, and hopefully it's going to be a yes. All right, Michael. Hey, appreciate you coming on. Thanks for your time. Have a great rest of your day. And always, folks, keep it real.
All right.